WBAY TV, your first alert station. Action 2 News This Morning live stream starts now.
But what this weather did not provide is a shadow or reason to hide. Glad tidings on this Groundhog Day. An early spring is on the way.
An early spring is on the way. Welcome to our Action 2 News live stream this morning. Punxsutawney Pete did not see his shadow this morning. That means early spring. Steve, Green Bay Steve.
Green Bay Steve.
Chief Meteorologist Steve, who isn't afraid of his shadow that he can't see on the floor right now.
I've used on social media a couple times the past couple years a picture where Tammy Elliott is grabbing me by the collar and holding me up, and I'm like, eh. So yeah.
You got better teeth, like you said.
I
than
do.
Phil does.
Well, I have the advantage of going to see the dentist,
Sure.
and Phil and Sun Prairie Jimmy do not.
Yes. He's struggled. We are enjoying perhaps the chance for an early spring. I know the people that want to spend their time outside doing fun winter activities.
It has not been their winter.
It just hasn't been. It hasn't been. We're talking about that with
it's not
Emily.
going to change.
Yeah.
And Phil's prediction is now official, and of course he's out in Pennsylvania, so take that for what it's worth. No shadow, early spring. We have not heard from Jimmy in Sun Prairie yet, but we do have a lot of clouds in southern Wisconsin, so I suspect that he will have a similar prediction and say, that winter is going to be ending early, and it looks like spring is going to be arriving early, which, because it's been so mild around here, it really isn't a surprise. I mean, we're at 30 right now in Green Bay. This is a live view from our Green Bay sky cam. It does feel a little bit colder this morning because of the wind coming in out of the northeast around 12 miles an hour. Our wind chill is 21, but Emerson, compared to what it normally is for this time of year, it really isn't all that cold. We're going to see a high of 37. We can't have every day in February be warm enough to break record highs, so we'll settle for 37. We're going to have a lot of clouds, but I think some sun is going to shine on a patchy basis for the Fox Valley. If you want real sunshine, you probably should head into the North Woods. And
we've been enjoying, even if it's just those glimpses, because earlier in the week we were talking about it was a struggle. We'd gone like 7 out of 8 days without any sun, and now we're just, even if it's just an hour here or there, it's nice to enjoy that a bit.
It builds some excitement. It's that time of year where people get the winter blues, and any stretch of sunshine definitely brightens things up. We do have clouds over top of us right now, as you can see on the satellite view. There's a high-pressure system building in from Canada. Now, it's going to come in, and for some people, it's going to act like an eraser, like especially across northern Wisconsin. But here's the thing. The wind comes around high pressure clockwise, and as it blows off of Lake Michigan, it's creating lake effect cloud cover farther south in the Fox cities, over towards the lakeshore, and that's where the clouds might be a little bit more stubborn.
The eraser.
Right.
Never get tired of those sound effects. Never get tired of them.
I like to throw that in. It just makes everybody's paying attention. So on First Alert Pinpoint Predictor, northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, and as that wind comes off the water, you can see that band of cloud cover, Door County down into the valley. Okay. You see where the eraser's been used, though.
Yeah, working hard down in Sheboygan.
Yeah, Sheboygan, Manitowoc.
Lakewood, Pembine area there as well.
Especially in the north. That's where you stand the best chance of seeing sunshine today. That band of cloud cover, though, that kind of drifts through the Fox Valley, might hang around through the afternoon into this evening, but we're hoping as we go towards tonight, the cloud cover may be a little bit more variable.
All right, and I know the highs that we've been talking about, I mean, this is still high considering it's February 2nd right now. It shouldn't be this warm, right?
This is what it should be.
26.
26.
Yeah, that's 11 degrees here in Green Bay, higher than normal.
Right, but you get a 36 in Manitowoc and a 38 in Appleton. So it's going to be another mild day. But I want to make sure before we go, we talk about our next weather maker.
All right,
Some freezing fog is a possibility the next couple nights. And, because temperatures will be below freezing and there's moisture, there might be some slick spots on the roads. And you can see that fog developing later tonight into tomorrow morning on First Alert Pinpoint Predictor. And then after it fades away, a second round Saturday night into Sunday morning. And that could obviously reduce visibility and create some icy travel as people try to get off to church early Sunday morning. So that fog is mentioned there on your First Alert 7-day forecast, but the weekend isn't all that bad, Emerson. We will have some sunshine and highs in the low 40s and then rising to 50 on Thursday with a chance of showers.
50 degrees. That is crazy to see there, Steve. Thanks so much for that look at our 7-day and a full forecast there. And that mild weather that we have been continuing to talk about, it's continuing to put winter events on thin ice. Emily Roberts live at Millers Bay in Oshkosh this morning. And Emily, this year's Otter Street Fishery looks a little bit different this year. It's going to be without the fish.
Right, Emerson. No fishing at the fishery, the ice fishing portion and the ice hockey, pond hockey rather, I should call it, that's what they call it, portion, are both canceled to keep everyone safe. Such a tough decision, but really with these ice conditions, they want to make sure that everyone is okay and this event can still be a success. So you might notice this tent up behind me, that's where the party is taking place. So no matter these warm temperatures, no matter these peaks of sunshine we're seeing, and no matter this wind that's happening today, I mean, the big bad wolf could huff and puff and he would not blow this tent down. They are ready for the food, they're ready for the drinks, they're ready for the raffle prizes, and they are definitely ready for that live music. So this event is going on regardless of the conditions. It's just going to look, as you said, a little bit different. The ice fishing is not going to happen, and of course the Otter Street Fishing Club tells me that anyone who bought a fishing ticket can either get refunded or they can, keep it as a donation to the fishing club, because the fishing club's vice president tells me when the conditions are bad, when the ice isn't so great, they really rely on events like the fishery to keep them funded throughout the year so that they can help people get out on the lake. Fishing clubs are so important to Wisconsin's culture on the lake, from putting those bridges out, maintaining the docks, maintaining the landings. So that's really one of the big reasons they want to keep this going. They want to make sure that it's community involvement. They want to make sure that everyone's able to come out, have a good time, and celebrate what it means to live along Lake Winnebago.
It's great that they're able to do that, Emily. And, the local events, they're not the only ones that are struggling with these warmer temperatures. There's local businesses that are impacted as well. How are the hardware stores kind of dealing with the melting ice and no snow?
Well, if you walk into a hardware store right now, I'd be willing to bet you'd see a lot of shovels stacked up, maybe even a lot of bags or buckets of salt to melt the ice stacked up, because not a lot of people are buying that stuff right now. Of course, when you walk outside and it's really relatively warm for this time of year and there's not a lot of snow on the ground, the ice, as we've said, we're here at Millers Bay, melting. Just not a lot of folks are going out and buying that at their local hardware store. So our Action 2 News team went out and we spoke to Ace's Hardware of Appleton, and he showed us around the owner, and it looks a lot similar. Take a look at this video here. You can see all of that inventory that is just sitting and sitting and sitting, but the owner tells us he is still hopeful. He says, usually around February, March, there's a lot less stock, but he's still crossing his fingers for two more big snowstorms so that he can clear some of this out. Right now, it's just going to sit, hang out for the rest of the season into the next if it has to. The owner says that a lot of folks usually mark Valentine's Day as the day that they will absolutely not replace a shovel. So, he is still waiting for that day to come. He is waiting to see what that day will look like and hopefully clear out some of those shelves.
All right, Emily Roberts live in Oshkosh this morning. Emily, thank you so much. It has certainly been a strange winter out there. Now we're going to go to our photojournalist Don Johnson, who's live outside Titletown this morning, giving us a live look at Aaron's Hill, where the free tubing that was supposed to take place this Sunday has been canceled because of the warm weather, not great snow conditions. But there's still some winter fun. You can go ice skating there for free on Sunday instead. Free skate rentals will be available at Hy-Vee Plaza. Skating will be open from 11 in the morning to 6 on Sunday night. Time to talk about First Alert traffic with Catherine Braccio. And you mentioned it a few times this morning, Catherine. While we have the melting and it's not great for people on the ice and things like that, it's making the roads a lot clearer for drivers.
Yeah, that is really a good thing. And the DOT has been reporting really good conditions on most of the major highways around Northeast Wisconsin. But there's one issue that we're following this morning. The ramp from 43 northbound to Atkinson, which is that busy exit just to the west of the Leo Frigo Bridge, that ramp is closed right now because of a crash. I talked to Brown County officials. They told me there's just one vehicle involved here, but they weren't able to say whether that person was hurt or what led to that crash. So for the time being, those northbound folks on 43, they can't get off at Atkinson. So what they may have to do is head all the way up to the Lineville exit and in Howard and then spin around, and then they'll be able to come back south and they'll be able to get off at Atkinson Drive there.
Very good to know. And just looking at the sky cams here, it's crazy. Like 2.5, 3 weeks ago, this was all just covered in snow. There was ice built up on the overpasses there. Now it was
like,
just
just narrowed because of those piles of snow. But yeah, you can see a little bit here on the shoulder. But yeah, we've had so much melting. I think Steve was talking about how at one point we had like 13 inches of snow, and that has just mostly disappeared. So we really are glad that the driving conditions have improved. That's one good thing. Of course, all these winter events we've been talking about, that's really tough for those folks. So there's always pros and cons.
And Steve had mentioned the chance for potentially some freezing fog this weekend.
Yes.
The low beams, and just be watching out for slick spots, especially on those overpasses like that.
Yeah, that can, of course, lead to black ice, as we've talked about. So meteorologist Bo Fogel and Emily Byer will be here tomorrow for Action 2 News This Morning Weekend Edition to let people know.
Appreciate the look at the morning commute, Catherine. Thanks so much. Let's head over to Aisha at the First Alert Safety Desk now. We're talking about vacuum cleaners. We're talking about granola bars that are being recalled. I mean, all kinds of important updates on this Friday.
Totally. It's Recall Friday, it seems like. So we want to talk about, well, what are we going to do? The oatmeal? Let's do the oatmeal first.
Okay.
No, vacuum.
Vacuums. We'll talk about vacuums
We'll talk about
first.
the Bissell vacuums.
The Bissell vacuums.
Yeah, so there is a fear that they could actually catch fire because of their batteries. So I do want to let people know about the Bissell ones, especially if you're maybe going to do some early spring cleaning with this warmer weather we've been having. But it's the multi-reach hand and floor vacuum cleaner models. This is what they look like right here. So the Consumer Product Safety Commission, they said the vacuums, again, the battery pack, it can overheat, smoke, and then that could cause a fire, obviously. So far, Bissell says they've gotten about 17 reports of the vacuums actually smoking, a few of them also catching fire. So do be careful. There's been a few people that have been hurt by this too, some property damage also. So what you're asked to do is not throw the recalled battery in the trash.
That's important to know,
That is so important. We don't want to throw batteries in the trash in general, but with this, they say to contact Bissell for instructions on how to get the charger and deplete the battery itself, so then you can get a free replacement. Maybe you don't want that. You could talk to Bissell about what to do, but we do have the model numbers, because it's not all of them, but it is quite a few of them. We have the link at WBAY.com to make sure you check to see if it's one that you have in the closet right now.
Stay up to date with that, and then maybe packing lunches for the kiddos. Check the pantries, right? Because there's some a pretty popular granola bar I mean, I know you and I had talked.
Yeah, didn't you say this one slaps?
These did. I loved these growing up. They're so good. They tasted delicious.
Yeah, so the fear is that they're possibly contaminated with salmonella, so it does kind of suck, but this goes back to a couple of months ago when we reported on Quaker Oats having a few recalls. So this is just an addition. These granola bars right here, the Chewy Dips Llama Rama, they've got that chocolate drizzle on there. They look super good, but they've been discontinued since last September, and they've got the best before dates of either February 10th or 11th of this year. They were sold in all 50 states. So yeah, just be careful. It was announced in December. It was first expanded to include some more of these granola bars, some more products with Quaker Oats. There's quite a long list. They've got the cereals, they've got oatmeal, some of the snack packs too. So just to make it easy, as I always say, WBAY.com is your best bet, because we've got the long list. It's about 2 pages or so. And I know how popular Quaker Oats is with these snacks, right?
Absolutely.
So please check your pantries, check the link to make sure you don't have it at home, because you don't want anybody at home to get sick.
Monday through Friday, Aisha's got you covered over here at the First Alert Safety Desk. We appreciate you keeping us all safe every day. Now, we want to remind you about one thing too. A lot of you may be still getting ready for the morning, get ready to head to work. Maybe throw on some red for National Wear Red Day.
Yeah, the day is celebrated on the first Friday of February and points attention towards women fighting cardiovascular disease.
Yeah, so find the red in your closet. If you don't have any, or even if you do wear red, you can also show your support by donating to the American Red Cross. wearredday.org.
We like wearing red.
Yeah.
We've got our red
Powerful
on.
color.
Yeah.
All kinds of red.
I'm drinking red right now.
You've got
there you go.
Nice red cup, and I know that they love. We talked about this as well. I know we shared some pictures on social media. They want you to do that as well. The American Heart Association. Tag them, do the hashtag Wear Red. Just kind of brings awareness to everyone, and it's a really important issue to bring awareness to.
So many people, so many women, with cardiovascular disease or some heart issues. the four of us, and Tammy too, who's not here today, we all know somebody near and dear to us who is going through something right now, and we want you, if you're watching us, to know that we're thinking about you. But a lot of people, feel very strongly about this. Yeah.
I think this movement has really helped, because in years past, people tended to think about heart attacks and cardiovascular disease as primarily being a problem for men.
Sure.
But this movement, I think, over the years has really increased the awareness that, women can have heart attacks too. And maybe the symptoms will be a little bit different. The Red Cross has information about how heart attacks can actually feel different for some women. And so a lot of times they wouldn't know what was happening. But this campaign, I think, has, increased our awareness.
Brought that to the forefront.
And to hear that it's the #1 killer, I mean,
right.
That's the big thing we got to think about.
A lot of people, that's probably surprising.
Very
Absolutely.
important to bring the information to that, and we're happy to bring some awareness as well. So time now, what do we got, 7:19 here? I know the crew's getting ready to, you guys are going to be getting ready to do your cut-in.
We are.
Are we able to look at the Manitowoc Sky
That's
Cam?
exactly what I was going to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if our director can pull that up behind us, the Manitowoc Sky Camera.
Ooh.
So there's the Appleton
That's
one.
Appleton.
This is Appleton. There we
There.
go. Oh.
So look at downtown Manitowoc. I just checked this out, and Catherine walked by,
out
and
of
she
the
was
way.
like, "Oh, did you see this?"
Yeah.
So we've got some snow showers right now.
If you look against the dark spaces in the shot, you can see a little better.
You can even see some of the flakes kind of falling
Yeah.
a little bit.
There's a very narrow band of some lake effect snow that's kind of drifting into Kewaunee and Manitowoc counties. Now, this isn't going to amount to more than just a little coating, but it's still, you got to drive in it, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit of, look at, that was the Green Bay one there for a
Yeah.
second, but it's just, like you said, surprise on a Friday
Yeah.
Friday morning.
Lake effect snow, whether it be heavy or light, a lot of times it's just in a very localized spot. And so, folks, Two Rivers up towards Kewaunee are probably seeing some flakes, and just watch out for a couple slick spots. But otherwise, we're going to have some dry weather heading into the weekend.
And then an early spring.
And then, thanks, Phil.
Thanks so much, Phil. We appreciate it. Seeing his shadow out there in Punxsutawney. We're going to let Steve and Catherine get ready for their update on GMA. That's coming at 7:23. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it. We love
did it.
Fridays. We will see you on Monday. Make it a great weekend.